Iran's streets are boiling, its economy is sinking, and now its supreme leader has issued a rare and direct warning to the President of the United States. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has accused Donald Trump of bloodshed, arrogance, and interference, going as far as predicting his overthrow. As protests escalate inside Iran and global tensions rise, this is no longer just a domestic crisis. It is a confrontation playing out on the world stage. What began as isolated murmurs over rising prices has erupted into a nationwide revolt. Across Iran, streets once ordinary are now battlegrounds as citizens rally against economic freefall, runaway inflation, and the collapsing value of the rial. Protest chants echo through cities, defiance spilling into clashes, vandalism, and open confrontation with authority. This is no longer just an outcry over hardship, it is a raw, uncontained challenge to power itself. Against this backdrop, Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei addressed the nation. His message was blunt and unusually personal. Khamenei accused U.S. President Donald Trump of arrogance and bloodshed, claiming his hands were stained with the blood of more than 1,000 Iranians. He warned that history shows tyrants are often overthrown at the height of their power. Khamenei did not spare Iran's protesters either. He accused demonstrators of destroying their own cities to please the president of another country. The supreme leader framed the unrest as foreign-driven chaos, alleging that vandals were acting to serve U.S. interests rather than Iran's people.
مزدوری بیگانگان رو تحمل نمیکنه. شما هر کی میخوای باش مزدور بیگانه که شدی، برای بیگانه که کار کردی ملت تو رو مردود میدانه، نظام اسلامی هم تو رو مردود میدانه. این مربوط به اینا. اون بابایی که با نخوت و غرور نشسته اونجا راجع به همه دنیا قضاوت میکنه، او هم بدانه که معمولاً مستبدین و مستکبران عالم از قبیل فرعون و نمرود و رضاخان و محمد رضا و امثال اینها وقتی که در اوج غرور بودند سرنگون شدند. این هم سرنگون خواهد شد. کسانی هم هستند که کارشون تخریبه. دیشب در تهران در بعضی جای دیگه یه مش تخریبگر آمدن ساختمان متعلق به کشور خودشون رو خراب کردن. مثلا فرض کنید فلان ساختمان دیواری رو خراب کردن برای که دل رئیس جمهور آمریکا خوش بیاد. چون او گفته که حرف بی ربطی که اگر چنانچه دولت ایران چنین کنه من میام به طرف شما رو میگیرم، این طرف این اغتشاشگرها و افراد مضر برای کشور، این هم دلشون او خوشه. او اگه میتونه کشور خودش رو اداره کنه، تو کشور خودش حوادث گوناگونی وجود داره.
Donald Trump, meanwhile, has publicly threatened Iran over its crackdown on protesters. He warned that Tehran would pay hell if force was used against civilians. Trump also claimed Khamenei was looking to go somewhere, saying the situation inside Iran was rapidly deteriorating. The exchange has escalated tensions between Washington and Tehran at a highly volatile moment. At the core of Iran's crisis is its collapsing economy. Sanctions, mismanagement, and currency freefall have pushed ordinary Iranians to the brink. The rial has weakened sharply, savings have eroded, and basic goods have become harder to afford. What started as economic anger has now morphed into a broader rejection of political authority. The turmoil is no longer contained within Iran's borders. Ripples of unrest are spreading outward, forcing swift decisions beyond its skies. Turkish Airlines has grounded 17 flights to Tehran, Tabriz, and Mashhad, citing unfolding regional developments. The cancellations are a stark signal of mounting fears, of safety compromised, of uncertainty rising, of disruption taking hold. As Iran's internal crisis intensifies, its shockwaves are now reverberating across the region. Open defiance on Iran's streets, from rooftops and alleyways, from homes and highways. Death to dictator chants shake the night as thousands pour out, daring the regime to respond. This is no longer isolated anger. This is nationwide revolt. The U.S. has issued an ultimatum, with President Donald Trump saying Iran's government is officially on notice.
Are you following the protesting that is taking place all over the country of Iran
Yeah,
now?
I'm following it very
And
closely.
have you read that the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has a plan B to go to Russia?
Or someplace, yeah. He's looking to go someplace.
Do you believe that
It's getting very
Iran,
bad.
you think the country is on the verge of collapsing?
Well, it could be. I mean, what they've done is in the past, they've started shooting the hell out of people, and all of a sudden people without any weapons whatsoever are standing there and you have machine guns gunning them down. Or they take them to prisons and then hang them and kill them. So they played rough, and I said, if they do that, we're going to hit them very hard. Well, we're going to hit them hard. We're ready to do it. If they do that, we're going to hit them hard.
Trump says the protests unfolding across Iran are unlike anything seen before, and warns Tehran against firing on unarmed civilians. Behind the scenes, the U.S. military is watching closely. CENTCOM is monitoring the growing unrest in Tehran and tracking how the regime responds, including during Friday prayers across the country. U.S. officials say F-15E fighter jets are deployed in the region as part of a routine rotation, stressing there is no major troop buildup, but the warning signs are unmistakable. Washington is also speaking directly to the Iranian people. The U.S. State Department posts a rare Persian language message praising Iranians for standing up for their rights and declaring solidarity with those filling the streets. Support is growing inside the U.S. Congress. Lawmakers say Iranians are entitled to the same freedoms as any people, and that America stands with those demanding a democratic future. From exile, a familiar voice is rallying the nation. Exiled Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi praises the massive turnout and urges more Iranians to rise. On Thursday, a government building in eastern Tehran was set ablaze as protesters cheered. Iranian state television itself broadcasted images of street fires, unable to hide the scale of the unrest. Large crowds marched through the capital, shouting slogans once punishable by death, including chants praising the former Shah. Then, blackout hit. Internet and phone lines are cut nationwide, a move rights groups warn often signals a coming crackdown. Markets shut down, bazaars close. Human rights groups say at least 41 people have been killed and more than 2,270 detained. Yet the protests continue, leaderless, defiant, and spreading.
A call by Iran's exiled crown prince has seen thousands enter the streets of Iran's capital to protest against the government. The call by Reza Pahlavi had been kind of a question mark, especially as days of protests have been escalating in Iran over the country's ailing economy. Those protests had taken on an anti-government view over the last several days as they've intensified. Now, Reza Pahlavi had called for demonstrators to shout from their homes or to go out on the streets to show their support for a change of government there. And what witnesses in Tehran saw were thousands of people on the street, as well as people chanting, "Death to the Islamic Republic, death to the dictator," and other chants in support of the Shah. Now, it remains unclear just how much support Pahlavi actually has. There's a lot of demonstrators who are very young and don't remember what life was like under the Shah prior to the 1979 Islamic Revolution. And also, it remains unclear just how much support he'll have because of the support he's received and the support he's given to Israel, which launched a 12-day war against Iran in June that killed over 1,000 Iranians. So as of right now, there's still a lot of question marks, but one thing is for certain, these demonstrations in Iran seem to be gathering strength. And while the Iranian government is apparently starting to disrupt the internet there, they haven't cracked down all the way on these demonstrations, allowing them to continue. But after these demonstrations tonight, it's unclear just how they'll respond, particularly as Pahlavi has called for another set of demonstrations tomorrow night.
The world is responding. France urges restraint. Sweden says it hears the voices of Iranians rising against oppression and backs their struggle for freedom. Belgium calls the protesters courageous, warning that silencing them with violence is unacceptable. As chants echo through the night, and flames burn in the streets, Iran's leadership now faces its greatest test in years. The people are rising. The world is watching, and the next move may decide Iran's future.